Hi everyone, let's talk about Point City. I have just done a full 2-player playthrough of this game. If you haven't seen it yet, it's linked in the description. This is just what I think about the game. If you're interested in that, remind you, I was paid to make the playthrough for Point City, which is on Kickstarter right now, and the link to the campaign page will be in the description and in the corner of the screen. It's also on Kickstarter with deep dive, so you can check out my videos for that if you would like to. Sorry, I'm trying a camera thing and it's moving me around for some reason every time that I lean forward and move something about. So yes, Point City. It's so fast to get playing, to set up, to, well, play in general, really. It says 15 to 30 minutes on the box. Yeah, definitely say that. The turn summary is just a few steps. One of them is an optional step, and one only applies if you're building a building, and one only applies if you're building a specific type of building. So generally, it is just get 2 of these cards. But the cards themselves and how the display kind of reacts to how you play is really beautiful. That, the cards want particular resources to be spent on them. They will let you generate more of those resources, which will hopefully in turn let you make bigger and better things as the deck goes further and the cards start to cost more but give you better rewards. They'll always just generate, if they generate a resource, it's just 1. But it will also be worth points, and by then hopefully you'll end up getting these civic tokens. There'll be a different selection every game, making certain permanent resources more viable, maybe missing out on generating resources, being more profitable depending on which ones come out and which ones you can get hold of, especially early on, but also when kind of big plays are made. If rows and columns are completely resource heavy, you do get to flip one card over that can give you a bit of chance to it. Well, it will, if it's a resource generating card, it will generate the resource that's on the back of it. So you can be sure of that, but you can't quite be sure. Is it going to generate resources? What is going to be required for this? Is it going to get me any points? But it can give you a bit of a way of changing things up, or maybe putting a card out next to another card that you are going to buy in the hopes that you can afford that one too. And then as you take cards, they are replenished from the display on their opposite sides. So if you have just taken a turn, maybe early on, where you just wanted to gather a couple of resources, those resource cards go into your hand, but then the cards that come out on their building side, and you have to kind of always be aware when you're flipping these cards, when you're taking cards out and they're coming back on their other sides, what opportunities might you be giving the other players? That on the top of the card, on the top of the stack, what resource it is. You don't know what building that's going to be though. And it's just full of lovely decisions of how long can you spend building up your engine, building up your tableau. When do you need to flip and start getting things that are going to actually be worth points? Hopefully you'll be doing a bit of that all the way through. But yeah, there's a certain point that, well, getting one more of that resource, what's that going to do when you've got a couple of turns left? Would it be better to try and just gather a couple of cards so that we can afford the big points things? Seeing, at the end of the other person's turn, something that's come out that's going to be perfect for them. Am I going to spend my turn just stopping that from happening? And, I can't afford the card that they want. Am I just going to get resources for this? Have the cards come out in a particular way that I can't do anything about it, because to build a building, you have to have the resources to pay for it. You can't just discard things from this display. So you're building up an engine trying to be powerful at particular things, but yeah, you can't be powerful at everything, and you've got to kind of pick your battles, pick your timing basically on what's going to be the most important to you. But as I said, this is all so quick, and these decisions and these moments are happening pretty within a few turns of starting the game from the setup, which is basically put 16 cards out, however many tokens out. The most time-consuming bit is discarding a few cards of each of the types and shuffling them up. I've said it a few times now, but yeah, just so quick to get going, but so satisfying, and definitely leaves you wanting more. But hopefully you've seen the playthrough, and if you haven't, it's linked in the description, and you can see it in action, and hopefully that will give you the best idea of what's going on in Point City. As I said, there is also Deep Dive, which is going to be next up on the table, that you can have a look for on the same Kickstarter page, but there will also be a video coming up for it, and the Kickstarter page will be linked in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye everyone.